I made these. So I'm gonna make more. I'm gonna be making some Halloween ears. I found this adorable fabric at Joann, which is my new favorite store. I've always gone to Hobby Lobby, but no more. I'm a Joann stan now. I'm gonna film the process of making some ears in case anyone cares. Nobody asked, but doing it anyways. Okay, so first things first, you're gonna need a few things for the project. You need a headband. I got this one at Hobby Lobby. It's just like a 1/2 inch, I think. You're gonna need fabric, 2 kinds preferably for these Halloween ears. I have this like leathery fabric that I'm gonna use, and then my patterned fabric that I'm gonna be using for the bow. You need some foam board to reinforce the ears to make them stand up. Pillow stuffing. Our couch pillows have a zipper on the bottom, and I just pulled some of the stuffing out of there because you don't need a whole lot. A sewing machine and or hot glue and some scissors. So for my Star Wars ears, I made a little template. I have this one, that's my cutting line. I have this one that's a little bit smaller, that's my sewing line. And then I have this one, which is for the foam board. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my cutting line template and put it on the back side of my leather fabric. So now I have it drawn. I'm gonna cut it out, and you're gonna need 4 of these because you're gonna need a piece for the back, a piece for the front, and there's 2 ears, so 4 pieces total. So you should have some pieces that look like this. It's easier to see. So this piece is gonna rest on the headband when we get it done. And if you want to, you can kind of like trace the shape of your headband. My headband is actually a child's headband, I think, so it's like a little bit small. So when you stretch it, it fits better on the ear. But anyways, now I'm gonna do that 3 more times. So now I have 4 ear pieces. I'm gonna take my sewing line template and I'm gonna put that on the back. I made a little bit of a modification to the bottom to fit my headband better, but I'm just gonna trace this sewing line onto the back of the fabric. This part is optional. It just helps me because I'm not a great seamstress. It just helps me sew a little bit straighter and not get like really wonky lines. And you should have something that looks like this. So I'm going to do that to the rest of my pieces really quick. So once you've done that, you can take 2 of your pieces and put them with the right sides of the fabric facing each other, like so. And then you're going to take your pins and just pin them together. Okay, I have it pinned together, but I'm getting a little bit nervous because this fabric is really thick and now I've doubled it. And I'm afraid it's not gonna go through the sewing machine. And this is my sister's sewing machine. Whitney, if you're watching this, that probably means the sewing machine didn't break. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna take my scissors and cut little slits in the fabric all the way around, like this. Wow, that really does work. Okay, like that, so that when we flip this the right side out, it will like lay flat around the edges. I don't know, it seems like the thing to do, so just gonna do that really quick. You know what, on second thought, I'm gonna sew it first and then cut the slits. Yeah, try to sew it at least. Wish me luck. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I'm kind of scared. Say a prayer. Oh my gosh, it's working. Wow. And this, my friends, is why you draw the sewing line. You can see where my stitch is and where the sewing line is. I was not exactly accurate. You can imagine how bad it would have been without me drawing a line first. So now I'm going to continue cutting my little things around so that it will lay flat. Oh my god. That was so close to cutting through the seam. Whew. I just wanted to say, if you're doing this with regular fabric, just like cotton or something, and it's not super thick, you don't have to do this part because it'll lay flat fine the way that it is. Just because this is like a really thick fabric, I wanted to do this part to make it a little bit more smooth. You can see that that's not perfectly round, but if I hadn't done this step, it would have been like even more lumpy, so you don't really have to do this if you're using regular fabric. Okay, now that we have all of our little thingies, I'm gonna try to flip this inside out. This is gonna be really hard. Maybe impossible. So if you're gonna make mini ears, maybe don't buy fake leather for your first attempt. This isn't my first attempt, but it may as well be. I hate myself. Ooh, we're doing it. Okay, hooray! We did it. I'm proud, and I'm super happy that that worked. Okay, so now I just have to do that all again, but it will be less stressful this time. Okay, so now that we have 2 of these, I think they look super cute. I'm gonna take my Foamboard template and put it on my foam board, and I'm gonna cut out 2 of these. To cut these out, you can try to use scissors, but my scissors are junk, so I'm going to try to find my box cutter and cut these out really quick. This might be the most difficult part of the entire process because the foam is really hard to get into the fabric once you've sewn up the sides. So don't give up when you get to this step. I promise it will fit. You just have to finagle it a little bit. Again, this part isn't as annoying if you're using regular fabric. There. So now it's kind of reinforced and they won't like flop around or bend or anything. And now you get to do it again. But now I'm gonna put some pillow stuffing in them. I'm probably just gonna do one side. That's what I did on the other ears. But if you want really puffy ears, you can put some on both sides of the foam. I didn't buy pillow stuffing because I knew that our couch pillows had zippers on the bottom that I could just get to their stuffing, and it looks disgusting. But it was free and you're not gonna see it. So we're gonna pretend that it doesn't look like what it looks like. And we're just gonna take a little bit and put it inside the ears. And make sure when you are stuffing them that you get it even so they're not lumpy. I mean, these look a little lumpy because they're leather. You know what? The moral of the story is don't use leather to make your ears. Okay, so this is the part where you can make it more difficult for yourself and they will look better in the long run, or you can choose the easy way and deal with the consequences of that. You can either sew this closed or use a hot glue gun and just kind of fold it over. I used a hot glue gun on my Star Wars ears, and you can kind of see the hot glue in some places. If I was making these to sell, I would probably get like some trim and stick right there just to cover up the glue. But if you're making these for yourself and it doesn't bother you, go the easy way. Nobody's gonna be that up close to your ears. And when I have these on, you can't tell anyways. So if you're a perfectionist, maybe sew them closed. If you don't care that much, just glue them. Don't use fake leather fabric. They're attached, okay? But they don't look good. Look how much glue. Moral of the story again, don't use pleather. Use fabric, like a smart person. They look cute on. And I'm gonna add the bow, which will hide some of the glue on the front. And I think to fix this, I'm embarrassed. I cannot believe. I think to fix that situation on the back, I'm gonna add some trim or something. But I don't have any right now, so I'm gonna have to do that part later. They're sturdy though. I mean, I used almost a whole hot glue stick on that. So they're on there and they look cute from far away. But just like anyone behind me in line is gonna be like, yeah, she made those. So for the bow, you're gonna cut out a piece of fabric. This piece is about 12 inches long by 6 inches wide. It doesn't matter if the little white band is at the bottom because we're gonna fold that up anyways. And then you're gonna take another piece that's just a little bit smaller than your main piece, and you're gonna put that on the inside like this. So you're going to put your smaller piece of fabric against your main piece, and then you're going to fold the top over a little bit and glue that down. I wouldn't recommend sewing this just because you don't want a bunch of seams everywhere. And then you're going to do the same thing at the bottom, just fold the piece up. So we're going to have something like this. And now that you have your pieces glued, you're gonna fold it in. You're gonna fold each side in toward the middle. So it should look like this. And now you're gonna accordion fold back and forth. So now you should have something like this. And I'm gonna take my glue stick and just glue right in between each little fold. I am gonna take a strip of fabric and kind of just fold it in on the edges and make a little seam to wrap around the middle here. Ta-da! I wrapped my little piece around the middle and I just used hot glue to glue it to the headband. And this is personal preference, but you can see there's like little holes here. I'm going to smush the fabric down and glue it there so you can't see through. And I'm also going to take the ears and glue, the bow edges and glue it to the headband here. And yeah, you could stop there. I might do some more decorating. I have some chain that I may add. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty tired, but here they are. I like them, and I think they're cute for Halloween. Yeah, moral of the story, don't use leather. If you use regular cotton fabric, it's gonna be a breeze. The Star Wars ones were way easier than these, and those have freaking lightsabers on them. So, yeah, make yourself some Minnie ears. It was super fun, super stressful. I'm super proud of these, minus all the hot glue. I am gonna add a trim later on just to cover up the hot glue. But yeah, I thought it was fun. Let me know what you think.